is probably something you've never heard anybody say before. And that is, don't get a notary commission. Don't become a notary. Why do it? You're only allowed to charge $2. The state maximum is $10, $15 if you're lucky. It's oversaturated. You get paid 41 days later. You can get sued if you do something wrong. It ain't worth it. Why bother getting a notary commission? Why invest in training just so that you can charge $2? Becoming a notary, here's my suggestion is going to be. Here's what my suggestion is. Instead of becoming a notary, become a notary business owner. Tech, what's the difference? I thought a notary is a notary business owner. Just because you have a commission, you are a notary business owner. Are you telling me that's not correct? What I'm telling you is that there's confusion about what is a business owner and what is self-employment. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being self-employed. However, you cannot be confused about the two. Self-employment and business ownership are not the same thing. Most notaries, and by most I mean like all of them, 99% of them are self-employed. They're not business owners. A common fallacy you will hear is that I'm a notary public business owner. I'm a notary business owner. I have a loan signing business. I have a notary business. And here's how you can tell that this person does not have a loan signing business or notary business. Here, and this is the easy one, right? This is an easy way to tell that this person does not have a notary business. And then I'll break down what a notary business actually is. I'll break it down. All right, here's the easy way. If that person is responsible for every single step, every single process, every operation, down to the tiniest detail, if that's their responsibility, that is by definition not a notary business. That's self-employment. If it's you, if I just described what you do in your notary public business, then you, I'm sorry to say, sorry to break it to you. I'm sorry to deliver the message, be the bearer of bad news. You don't have a business. You're self-employed. You have a job that you own. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with it. Shout out to you. Props to you. Big props. Big shout out. You own a job. You have your own job. A business, in contrast, let me break that down. Here's what a business is, and this is why I say don't become a notary public, and I'll tell you why, and why you should become a notary public business owner. Here's the reason why. Because I'm a notary public business owner. And I'm gonna tell you, here's the difference. So, a notary public business owner by definition able to operate the business without every one step being responsible for. So I don't have to answer phone calls. I don't have to go and execute the appointments. I don't have to respond to the emails. I don't have to seek out payment. I don't have to do all these things that if it was just me and I was responsible for every single step of the business, then that would be self-employed. But since I'm not, then I am by definition a notary business. See, here I am on my way to go pick up dinner for my family, and you know, I'm just casually, and phone rings. I have the automated voice response system. Sabrina answers the phone. It goes through the process. Where do you live? What type of identification do you have? Who is signing the document? So those 3 steps are taken care of by an AI agent. Now, some people could opt to pay someone to do that. You could probably pay a VA, a virtual assistant, or you can pay somebody in a small country to do it. You can pay a family member to do it, but why do that when you could just, you could hire an AI to do it. And then the AI puts the appointment onto your calendar. It sends out a text message link. They process the payment. Once the appointment gets secured, I get a notification on my phone. And because I operate the business, therefore I don't execute the appointments. Once the appointment gets put on my calendar, I can easily tell, okay, at 1:30 on Wednesday, this person needs a notary at this hospital. So what I'll do is, because I have a network of notaries that I work with, this is one of the steps that we strongly advise you. Connect with the community that's in your area. I mean, you should be doing, even if you don't have a notary business and you're just an independent, self-employed notary, this is something that you should do. It would be a great advantage if you just connect with the notaries in your community. How do you do that, Tech? Here's how I did it. Because I know people like to tell you advice. They like to give you all these different tips, all these different gems, but they don't even tell you how they did it. They like to recommend that you do all these different things, but they don't even do it themselves. Such hypocrites. Here's how I did it. You go to Google, search notary in your respective city. Whoever shows up number 1, that's who you call. That's it. There's nothing complex about it. There's nothing secretive or nothing so intricate and over the top, detailed, hard. You go to Google, type in notary in Miami, notary in Cleveland, Brooklyn, whatever city you live in. Whoever shows up number 1, that's who you call, and that's the person who you connect with. So this is what you would say to connect with them. You say, hey, I'm a notary in such town. Is there anything that you don't do? You see what I did there? I just shared with you, how do you build a notary network? See, people will make the recommendation, yo, you got to build a community. You got to connect with other notary professionals in your area, but they don't even tell you how. They don't outline the steps on how to do that, because that information is so generic. Anybody can say, go connect with other notaries. Okay, how? I just showed you how I did it. See, I'm not just saying go team up with another notary. I'm saying go to Google and go look at my YouTube channel. I have plenty of videos where I do this. Where I document the entire process. I call up the notary and say, hey, I'm a notary. Is there anything that you don't do? Oh, they usually say, no, I do everything. That's usually the response. I do everything. I say, okay. Everything? I say, yeah, everything. I say, okay. Is there anywhere that you don't go? correctional facilities. Do you ever cross the bridge? And I'm talking about regionally speaking. There's a big bridge or a body of water that separates my town. So, and they say, oh yeah, if I go there, then I charge a little bit extra. So that's how you build out the community. So that way, when you get these secure appointments, you can outsource them to other notaries. Now, let me go back to my main point, which is why you should not become a notary. Don't become a notary. Become a notary business owner. If you're just planning to get your commission and you just want to get some extra side hustle income, because you are only limited to what you can do. If that's your plan and you just want to work 9 to 5 and then after work you go out and do appointments, or before work you go out and execute assignments, then go ahead, do it. But again, don't confuse yourself and call that a business, because it's not. That's self-employment. A business, Starbucks doesn't open just when the owner is available. Home Depot is not open just when the owner is available. No, it's a business. It's open during business hours. So if you're limited by what you can offer just because, you know, your son's birthday is on Saturday, so you can't take any appointments, then that's not a business. That's self-employment. And I know there's somebody who's watching this right now and you're probably thinking, man, you're splitting hairs. It's not that serious. We all know what we're talking about. We know the difference between the two. I'm telling you, the reason why most people get confused is because the distinction between a business owner and what self-employment means. And it will be the difference between whether or not you make it in this industry. It's fascinating to me. I'm intrigued by how many people call their notary public operation, they call it a business, but it's really not a business. It's actually self-employment. And here's how you can tell, because you can see they're doing everything. They're printing out the paper. They're responding to the emails. They're executing the appointments. They're going out and running every single assignment. That's self-employment. You are doing everything. If you stop doing everything, then the money stops. The moment you remove yourself from that equation, everything stops. You see what I mean? That's self-employment. That's not a business. So to own a business, and what I recommend you do, if you're a notary public, if you're thinking about entering into this industry, don't get your commission. Here's why. So about 2 years ago, I had to renew my commission. And because the state of California was a little bit behind, it took 81 days for them to deliver my new commission. So for 81 days, almost nearly 3 months, I was without a commission. Now, fortunately, I had already began running a notary agency. So I knew that I could do 3 things. A notary business only consists of 3 things. 3 things only. 3 things. Generate the lead. Most people can't get past the first step. So this is exactly why I'm telling you, if you can't generate a lead and you have to rely on a third-party signing service or some remote online notary platform or word of mouth or some friends, or you physically going out to nursing homes and hospitals and handing out business cards, if you can't generate a lead outside of you physically going out and doing labor, that's not a business. So a notary business consists of 3 things. Generate the lead, close the call. And the last step, third step, is to delegate the job. I'll repeat that again. A notary business consists of 3 things, and 3 things only. Generate the lead, close the call, delegate the job. So for almost 3 months, I did not have a commission. For 81 days to be exact, almost 3 months, I was still getting phone calls. People were, just because I don't have a commission don't mean people stop needing notary. No, Business continues to go on. Life goes on with or without you. Because you don't have a notary commission doesn't mean that people stop needing notary. So I continue to get leads. I continue to get phone calls. People inquiring about our company service. Now, fortunately, I already had this stuff in place years ago, years in advance. But I had here's the reason why I'm saying don't get a notary commission. Become a notary business owner. See, when my commission was being renewed and is being delivered, I was thrust into the position of a 100% full-time notary business owner. I had no choice but to secure the lead, right? Generate the lead, secure the appointment, and then delegate the job. I had no choice. And I learned something throughout that period. I learned that I can operate this business remotely. I'm driving, I'm on vacation, I'm on a cruise, and that's actually another point. So that same summer, or the spring before that summer, in March, because it was my wife's birthday, we took a trip. We took a cruise. It was a great cruise, and we were gone for 5 days. And my notary business continued to operate while I was gone. Fast forward that summer, so 4 months later, in August, when my notary commission was being delivered, I couldn't go out and sign appointments. I couldn't go out and stamp documents. I had to rely on others to go and execute appointments. But I was still able to see. This is where I really refined the second step, which is to close the call. Generating the lead is step number one. If you can't generate the lead and you have to rely on a third-party source, you really need to. Well, there's a lot of things you need to do, but you really need to improve that first step. How are you going to get to step number two if you can't get past step number one? So during this period of 81 days when I didn't have a commission, I really got good at refining my process for closing the call. I really got good on the phone. The who, what, where. Who's signing the document? What type of identification do you have? Where do you live? Who, what, where? Getting down those three questions. Who, what, where? And then delegating the job, which is the third step. And that's when I built my network. So currently I have about 17 notaries that I partner with. And every time an appointment comes in, like 3 came in today, I generated the lead thanks to Google Ads. That's the only way to market. The only way to market, Google Ads. And then I got the appointment because I do the who, what, where, who's signing the document, what type of identification do they have, and where do you live. And then I got these notaries on standby. Speed dial, call them up. Hey, you available at 1 o'clock in Oakland? $50? Yep, take it and go out and execute the appointment. And once they're done, I pay them same day. That's the process. That's a notary business in a nutshell. It doesn't get more complicated than that. I know there's people who have different ideas about what a notary business is, but what I'm telling you is don't be confused. A notary business is those 3 things. Nothing more. It's nothing more than that. You don't need gadgets. You don't need fancy equipment. Hell, you don't even need a notary commission. That's my point. So by you not getting a notary commission, it forces you to run the business. It forces you. You have no choice because you yourself cannot go out and execute these appointments. See, the beauty or the luxury of having a notary commission is that in the event you can't find somebody, you can go out and execute it. Worst come to worst, you can go out and run the appointment yourself. But when you don't have a notary commission, you don't have a choice. You must find someone. You put your back up against the wall and you have to perform. All right, guys, I'm here to pick up dinner for my family. Notary business running in the background. If you guys made it this far, my name is TEKK AMAKU. I'm the co-creator of Sabrina AI, notary automation software for business owners. You can learn more about the software, how we operate at heysabrina.ai. If you know a notary that could use this information, go ahead and send this video to them. Give me a thumbs up. Talk to you guys later, man.